Today, our deck in Clash Royale is based entirely around the gym. Cards that go to the gym, cards that are related to the gym, and I'll explain the deck as we get into this first game here. Um, the strengths of this deck, we have a lot of heavy hitting ground cards. The weakness is we only have Flying Machine for air. So if we go against Lava Hound Fireball, we're pretty much done for. So like I said, this is a gym themed deck. The idea with this is that we have all the cards that are related to the gym. So the battle ram is there because it's two barbarians that are, holding up kind of a heavy weight. It's kind of like they're doing a team lifting exercise. Rage is there because obviously Rage speeds up cards, kind of boosts their performance in the arena. So you could kind of look at that as, Rage could either be a performance enhancing drug, steroids that kind of enhance somebody's performance, or it could just be, a pre-workout supplement. Just kind of something that improves the speed and performance of the cards. Heal Spirit is there to kind of represent, a protein shake of some kind, something that you kind of supplements that you use to heal and replenish afterwards. Lumberjack is there as kind of a personal trainer because he's carrying Rage. You know what? We're gonna Rage this one E-Barb just to get a tad bit more damage. Lumberjack's there as kind of a personal trainer because he looks like someone that you would see in the gym, and he's also carrying a bottle of Rage on his back, so he's kind of carrying supplements with him, kind of carrying a performance enhancing supplement on his back. Bowler is there as kind of the chill, calm dude who is the more meditative type, because the ball that he rolls kind of reminded me of a medicine ball. Those exercise balls that you use to like do stretching and yoga and whatnot. So the bowler kind of reminded me of that. The Flying Machine is there as the cardio in the gym, because if you notice the Flying Machine's art, you actually have to pedal it to operate the propeller. If you look at the Flying Machine's art, the guy's legs are sticking out underneath because you have to pedal. You have to pedal the Flying Machine kind of like a bike in order to operate the propeller. So it's kind of there as the bike theme, kind of the cardio-ness of the gym. And I think the last card, no, there's a couple more. Giant skeleton there for because he's always carrying around a heavy weight. I mean, he's carrying around. Also, this expo might be a little bit of a problem. I think that's going to target onto the tower once that dies. So we'll have to let that go for now. What was I going to say? E-Barbs. E-Barbs are there as kind of the meatheads, right? The kind of people that are the ego lifters, right? The people that just go to the gym and lift weights to kind of boost their ego, right? I think everyone kind of knows somebody like that. And I think that's it. Yeah, Giant Skeleton there because he's constantly carrying a bomb, which is made of metal, and once he finishes his set, once he dies, he drops his weight. So that's kind of the gym themed deck. We have the recovery protein shake, we have the calm medicine ball yoga guy, the cycling machine with the Flying Machine, the personal trainer carrying around a bottle of Rage. The E-Barbs, again, as the meatheads of the group. So hopefully this deck makes sense. It's kind of a gym themed deck. We're going to see if it can succeed. We should be winning this game here because we're up against Expo. So we shouldn't have. So that was a horrible Flying Machine. We shouldn't have a problem because we have so many heavy hitting ground cards. I mean, we have Bowler, we have Giant Skeleton, so the Expo shouldn't be breaking through. I'm kind of surprised that it is. I think we pretty much have one more go at it. So we'll see if we can make something happen with the last 30 seconds we have. And today's message that I wanted to share with you kind of comes from Oliris. Oliris is, for those of you who don't know, he's someone that watches the channel and watches the streams. and I would consider him a friend, right? Even though we don't know each other in real life, he is someone that I would consider a friend just because we play a lot of games in Clash Royale. He joins a lot of the streams and a lot of the videos, and he seems like a very genuine guy. So Oliris sent in a message to a Discord group that we're both a part of, and he, essentially asked, this Discord group, how people in the group deal with how they deal with depression, right? And it's a very important question to ask, just because I think everybody experiences it at some point in their life, including myself. I'm kind of going through a period. I'm kind of going through a period now, and I have been for the past several years of, it's been kind of it's been a really, I mean, it's been a low point in my life. I've gone through my fair share of depression and mental struggles, and so I shared something in the Discord, and I wanted to share this with you guys, just as far as, what I found helps. If you're struggling with something mentally, whatever it is, right? If you're struggling with just feeling loneliness, feeling grief, maybe feeling just a lack of purpose, like whatever it is you're feeling, almost everybody has mental struggles at some point in their life. And so I just wanted to share what I found helps with that. And it pretty much all boils down to one thing. And it just boils down to looking outside of yourself, right? A lot of the people that are watching this video, I would assume, watch Clash Royale content, because that's obviously what we're playing. So I would assume a lot of people, are familiar with Clash Royale. So I'll kind of put it in Clash Royale terms. When you go on a losing streak in Clash Royale, right? When you lose just game after game, the way that you untilt is not by continuing to play and just hoping that you win. Really, the only way that you can untilt when you go on a losing streak is by stopping playing, right? Is to just not play Clash Royale, right? Is to take a break, go outside, look outside of Clash, because if you continue to play and just kind of hope that you start to win games, it usually doesn't help, right? So in Clash context, the way that you improve your mental state when it's not in a good place in the game is by doing something else, right? Is by taking a break from Clash, looking away from Clash, essentially. So kind of taking this into the context of real life, the way that I found that you kind of look outside of, that you kind of get over your problems, is by looking outside of your problems, right? You don't continue to look. Also, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of spamming cards at the bridge, and we haven't gotten any. Okay, we have gotten damage now, but essentially when you have issues, it doesn't help to just kind of wallow in those issues. It helps to look outside, right? Look at how you can help other people, right? Look outside of yourself. And although it kind of seems a little bit controversial, if you look outside of yourself, it can kind of help solve issues within yourself, right? Just like if you take a break from Clash Royale, it'll help to solve the frustration you're feeling at Clash Royale. Essentially what I'm saying is, if you're wanting to kind of get over something mentally that you're struggling with, if you're looking to kind of get over grief, get over sadness, get over just a loss of purpose, you have to look at how you can help other people and how you can share something with others. That's the way that I found that helps me most. I'll be completely honest, the best part of my days are when I'm streaming, because I'm kind of sharing something with you guys. Right, I'm sharing a little bit of my time with you, and you guys are sharing a bit of your time with me. I'm kind of sharing, occasionally I'll share messages, we'll share stories with one another, and so the best part of my day is when I'm streaming, because I'm giving something of myself to you guys, right? I'm sacrificing some of my time. I'm giving you something, right? I'm not just playing Clash Royale on myself, like by myself. Again, I'm not great with words, so I hope this is making sense, but what I'm saying is, I found that when you help other people, when you help those that are a little bit less fortunate, when you kind of look for ways that you can share something you're passionate about with others. It helps to solve some of your own internal issues. It helps to solve a lot of things mentally. So all there is, and anyone else who's watching, if you are passionate about, if you're passionate about Pokemon, maybe you start a YouTube channel about Pokemon where you collect cards, where you share your love and your passion for Pokemon with other people, right? Maybe you do that. I don't necessarily have a love for Clash Royale, but I do have a love for video making. And I kind of discovered it when I was working at my last job that I had at a car dealership. I kind of discovered my love for video making there, and so it feels good to share videos, to share live streams with you, because that's something that I'm passionate about. So again, the way that I found to help get over any mental issues, any depression you may be having, is by sharing something that you're passionate about with others. I think this guy's coping. Surely he can't be happy with that play. So that would be, that's what I found. That's what I found that helps. I found that it helps to, share your passion with others. And you can never really, the worst thing that you can possibly do if you're struggling with some mental things, the worst thing that you can possibly do is wallow by yourself and just kind of rot away in your room, right? You're not sharing anything with other people. You're not sharing passion. You're just completely absorbed in yourself, right? And when you're completely absorbed in yourself, right? Even though you may think that's how you deal with issues, right? You may think, the way that you deal with issues in your life is by focusing on your life, right? So that you can know what issues. I just want to stop talking, man. I don't know if this is making sense. But a lot of people think that you need to focus on something in order to solve it. But, again, if you're playing Clash Royale, the more you focus on it when you go on a losing streak, it doesn't get better, right? It gets better by looking elsewhere, by looking outside. So I would just encourage you, kind of evaluate what you are passionate about, right? I know that depression can be difficult because it kind of sucks away your motivation to do anything. So you might not feel motivated to do a whole lot of things, just because when you deal with depression, you don't really feel motivated to do anything. But usually there's something that you're passionate about. Usually there's something that still kind of gets you going, something that that gets you excited, right? Maybe it's a game, maybe it's a hobby. But just take that thing and find a way to share it with others. Another thing that I might do is, and that I found helps, is by just helping people that are less fortunate. Many Christmases ago, this was actually before I really had any. This was before I had really any of the mental health issues that I have, but I still found that this was just a great way to feel good and feel happy. One of the ways that I found is we a couple Christmases we volunteered at like a homeless shelter serving food. Right around Christmas, there were homeless people that came in. We'd serve them food, we'd help out, and I just realized that I felt happy when I was doing that. And so if you volunteer at a food bank, if you volunteer at a homeless shelter, if you help people that are less fortunate than you, you're still looking outside of yourself, right? You're still helping others. You're being selfless. You're not looking internally. You're just looking at how you can help, how you can give something of yourself to others. That's another great way. That is another great way that you can kind of help with any issues. So hopefully that whole spiel made sense. I know I'm not great when it comes to talking and whatnot, but those are just a couple of the things that I found. Share something that you're passionate about, either by making videos, social media. Maybe you join a group on Facebook or Instagram of people that share your same hobbies, and then also maybe look at ways that you can help those that are less fortunate. Right? You don't have to necessarily volunteer at a food bank or volunteer at a homeless shelter. You can also just get some supplies, right? Maybe when you go to the grocery store, you just pick up a couple of extra toothbrushes, you pick up a couple of extra snack bars and, you know, a couple extra bars of soap, and you make homeless kits for people. That's something that we did. We just made little we made little baggies filled with, like, you know, a couple snacks, a little thing of toothpaste, just kind of a little kit that might be helpful for those on the street. And then when we were just driving about our day and we saw someone on the side of the road that was homeless, we would just give them the baggie, and it was just another way you can help those that are less fortunate. So I'm gonna stop yapping. That was the whole gym deck, though. We got a little bit unfortunate just because our win condition is battle ram, and we went up against double buildings every time. But we did win. We did win 2 of the games. We went up against Tesla every game. But this is a very strong deck. There's so much ground pressure that typically they can't stop all of it. So this is a decent deck filled with all the gym themed cards. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you feel a little bit inspired to go do good. Because again, that's what I found that helps with your mental health. Looking at what you can do for others, looking at how you can serve and help others, and not focusing inwards on yourself. So I hope you guys have a great day. Hopefully I can see you in a future video or future stream, and I will see you all soon.